ING, we're a global financial institution headquartered in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, but we have very wide and broad geographic and sector reach. We are offering services in over 100 countries. We have 60,000 employees worldwide, and within the US and the wider Americas region, we have a 80 billion plus balance sheet, where our global balance sheet is over $1 trillion. So we have a lot of capital to deploy. So going back to Abigail and Darian's comments earlier as to how we make the Americas critical mineral supply chain more sustainable, a big part of it is relying on private capital to invest in this particular sector, whether it's through equity or, in the case of our institution, primarily through debt instruments. So lending is a big part of our business here. We also offer capital markets and advisory services as a company progresses for M&A transactions, much like what Darian referred to earlier. Financial markets activities for hedging of critical mineral sales, transaction services for receivables, and trade finance services, really looking at day-to-day cash management for our clients. We cover a broad range of sectors, like I mentioned, and metals and mining is one of our key sectors in which we bank most of the major players. So the Glencores, Rio Tintos, Lundins, BHPs of the world are all part of our client roster. And indeed, there has been a tremendous interest from ING as well to see how we can better support those clients that are directly engaged in the mining business, as well as those adjacent to the mining business, as it relates to clients in the trade and commodities players side, the Traxxas and the Hartrees of the world, as well as folks on the end user side, looking at the GMs, the auto OEMs, as well as folks in the hyperscaler space who are increasingly reliant on critical minerals as part of their supply chain as well. What's so unique about the team that I lead is we are a team that's called a Sustainable Solutions Group. Unlike many of the other sector teams that I mentioned earlier, we are looking specifically at how we can scale up new sustainable technologies and markets. We are a team that has dedicated time and resource to focus on those things that are perhaps a little bit out of the fairway in terms of what's been already done and tested. So rather than looking at a very experienced large corporate conglomerate developing its 10th plus mine, and we are essentially taking a look at new ideas. These ideas may be first time being deployed in a commercial setting and require a lot more due diligence from the lender's end in order to be able to comfortable and provide the capital that's needed for these projects to materialize. And so that really dovetails in nicely with the core differentiator that I see for our institution outside of our global reach, our sector expertise, in that we have a strong focus on sustainability. And when we think of sustainability, it's not just about the emissions footprint of it, it's also about the long-term stability of supply. It's also about the resiliency of supply against external shocks, climate risk, and geopolitical changes, as well as price shocks, right? So those are all things that should be part of the sustainability conversation. And as a result of that, we have developed a specific focus on 4 major verticals, and critical mineral is a conversation piece among many of these sectors that we're looking at. From clean mobility, given that the critical minerals are key components to many of the clean mobility components, whether it's from lithium batteries or charging infrastructure. Looking at industrial innovation, where we're looking at advanced processing and refinery activities, looking at sustainable materials, where we're looking at mostly end-of-life recycling of e-waste to recover critical minerals, and looking at nature-based infrastructure. What we offer and how we are different from some of our peers in the banking space. I think when you look at the banking landscape, we might not be a household name here in the US, unlike a JP Morgan or Bank of America, but at the same time, we are different in that, like I said before, our strong focus on sustainability is a key driver of the activity and the institutional willingness to look at new early stage stuff that requires a lot more effort to take to fruition. We also have a strong team of internal and external network of technical experts to help us due diligence and go deep on the technologies, whatever it is that we're evaluating. And right now, we're seeing a broad range of interesting projects across different types of critical minerals. We're looking at lithium recovery from low concentration brine. We're looking at permanent magnet recycling from hard disk drives. We're looking at better ways of processing copper and lithium from black mass. Those are just some examples of the things that we're looking at and taking a very critical lens to reviewing their bankability and commercial feasibility. We're also really taking this into account from a bank debt financing structuring perspective. And I think this goes into some of what I'll share today, hopefully with you guys from a capital stack optimization standpoint, looking at the structuring creativity that we offer. For ING, the bread and butter of our business here in the US has been project finance. Like I mentioned before, we bank most of the large players in the metal mining space. We also have extensive experience banking other first of its kind projects outside of metals and mining. We banked the first plastic pyrolysis project here in the US. We banked the very first immersive EV charging infrastructure project. We banked the first wastewater as a service project in the US. And that's in our DNA in terms of coming up with bankable structures that pass through credit review from an internal standpoint. And last of all, it's our corporate Rolodex, right? So to the extent that we have so much wide connectivity across all these sectors, connecting these different stakeholders in the critical mineral sector, I think will be very key to moving these technologies and new sustainable solutions forward in terms of being able to line up feedstock, offtake, and execution from across the entire value chain.